come. No, it's something with. Okay. Okay. Frank, can you say something?
Yeah. Is this possible?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Everybody, please let us know. Yeah, Frank, can you please say something?
Yeah, I'm Frank, and I'm trying to tell something, but
Yeah,
technique wasn't there yet.
wasn't on our side. Can
Yeah. Is this better?
andere kant van de lijn. It's noise, but okay. Let's see. Can you? I think you can hear me. You can hear me, but can you hear Frank? Everybody, Frank.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, yeah.
is it
Okay. Yes.
okay?
Everybody happy.
Right.
Ah. Sorry about that, everybody. I mean, I gained a lot of experience in the last months, but sometimes, sometimes that's the only downside. If you're either or interviewing or playing, and you have to be a technician at the same time, then sometimes it gets messed up. Sorry about that. Let's continue. Well, let's repeat quickly again how we met. We met in the early 90s at a jazz festival close to Brussels.
Yeah, we've met at the Jazz Hulaert festival.
Yes.
And you were there with Benjamin Herman,
Yes.
Dutch alto player. And I had to play there too for some reason. I don't remember anymore with who, but I remember that we've met for the first time there. And then after, maybe a year later or so, even not that long, we started to think about playing together.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And what I remember is when I heard you playing, I was like totally blown away because, in the last years, you've gained a lot of reputation being the artistic director and also composer, one of the main composers for the Brussels Jazz Orchestra. But your skills as a musician, as a saxophone player and flute is quite on a actually very world-class level. I know you're modest. You're one of the that's also one thing I like so much about you because we became very close friends over the years, and your hardworking attitude, mentality in combination with being so incredibly modest always is something I very appreciated very much. But this man here on which you're watching is like truly one of the best alto players around. Is really incredible. So I just want to emphasize it. Okay. Shall I? How many times shall I repeat it, Frank?
Yeah.
I know you don't like it.
In the early days, when we've met, and then some. I started to teach at Zweling Conservatory in Amsterdam. Before it became the Conservatorium of Amsterdam, and you invited me because I stayed there every week for 2 days. And I was supposed to sleep over in that building, and you invited me to come every week to sleep over at your house.
At our place, of course.
Thanks for that, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. I
remember that I was beneath the piano was my bed was I could see the bottom of the grand piano.
You woke up from a nightmare and you saw the soundboard of the piano.
And a cat.
Yeah. At that time I didn't have the castle I'm living in now, which is not true. But but there's more space now. Yeah, at that time, we lived like
we went out to the alto club, jazz club, or to the other one. I'm not sure that it exists to hang and to play, to jam. So
the Bourbon Street. Well, well, in fact, I was at the Alto Cafe like a couple of days ago. I was hanging with a friend, and we went there. But it was and there was a band playing, but. I mean, hardly any people and the distance, and it's rough. They're having a hard time. All these small clubs and restaurants, but there's a lot already about the whole Corona thing. But it is not easy because the small clubs where a lot of jazz is being played all over the world are really affected, and for people who just want to go for a drink, listen to good jazz at a jazz club. That's a big problem now. So
it's not possible these days.
No,
it's really
no.
really difficult. And if you're lucky and you have a small band, maybe they take you now. I mean, for Belgium, as far as it goes for Belgium, since yesterday, all the cultural centers and the stages are open. But you can't go there with a big band because you need 2 meters of a distance, a social distancing between every musician. So if you have a trio or a quartet, then on a bigger stage, it's possible. But playing in a club like the Hopper in Antwerp,
impossible.
It's not possible now because I've heard that if the Hopper wants to do music, they can allow only 8 people in the room. So it's really,
That's insane. That's insane.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's good that, I must say, I am, you know me, I'm positive and I think it's going to be fine. But on the other hand, before we're going to be in a normal situation, and it's not really, maybe not even us musicians, but also the audience not being afraid anymore, just to feel free and go and sit and have,
Well, it will take until the moment that there's a vaccine. I'm sure we have to wait for that. But the thing is, we as a musician, we were the first that the government asked us to stop playing because we are gathering people and that's dangerous. We were the first and we will be the last to restart the whole thing.
Testing. Yeah, no. It's for us artists. It's we're heavily hit. I hate complaining, but it is a challenge.
Because of this situation that we have this chat now.
That's I mean, I thought about myself. I've said it a couple of times in this live stream. Like I always wanted to do this. Reach a bigger audience through the internet, and then when the lockdown started, I thought, well, this is no excuse anymore. And I just went on YouTube tutorials and bought some gear and all of that, and I just started. And
we had to learn. Most of the people, they were afraid of all these social things and computers and everything, and now they are forced to do it. So everybody learned a lot. But anyway, it doesn't replace the experience on stage.
No. With the live stream, I have so many new people following me, discovering my music, and also now the guests I've been inviting. I started this like maybe a month ago, 1.5 months ago, and it's so cool. And every time more people are watching and they share it and all of that. So please share if you're watching once again. Nothing comes close in front of playing for real people. But on the other hand, I think it's a very good alternative for now, and I'm sure that a lot of people I met online will show up at the concerts at some point. So it's not too bad. Yeah, I'm looking here at the chats for a second. I'm seeing someone here, Dimitri from Tbilisi in Georgia. I'm not talking about Georgia in America, but Georgia in the Caucasian region between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. Beautiful country, amazing singing tradition. I love it. Hi Bert, hi Ellen, hi Cliff, all the way from Cape Town, who runs a wonderful theater there. Bert, Linda, Marcus. Hey Marcus, great musician. Marcus Olgers, thanks for tuning in. Gregory, also from Cape Town, great human being who does a lot there for the local music scene and promoting also this live stream. So thanks for being here all the time. And also thanks for the comments and warning me that the technique was not right. But now it's fine. All right, so Frank, we started with our quartet.
Yes.
In the early 90s. And...
well, in fact, Mike, the very first concert that we did was, it was a special day because it was the 4th of October, 92. And that was in an afternoon in a place in Dordrecht, not too far from Rotterdam, I guess. And that was the day that this plane crashed into the Bijlmer in Amsterdam. And so that's why I remembered it too, because you were going home, and you saw the plane crashing.
That was
that's something to remember.
Yeah, to be precise, it was October 4th, I think in 93 or 92. Okay. No, 92 or 93.
92, yeah.
Yeah, that's something I will never forget. I mean, really witnessing a plane crash is, you know, it's like it's like a dream, like a bad dream. And
nightmare.
A real nightmare. Oh, that was crazy. Yeah. But I mean, And that was our first concert with the quartet. And fortunately, it was not the last concert because over the years we recorded 3 albums.
We played a lot of concerts.
Many.
Many.
Yeah.
Really I don't know, so many.
Yeah.
Because it was the only thing we were really focusing on. And working on and looking for gigs and you know, and calling. I mean, that was the time before internet and mobile phones and everything. So we had to do it. Well, the fax started to work with this thermic paper, you know. And so I remember that we had to. I remember even that we went to a gig together with 2 cars, with the drums in one car and the double bass in the other one, and going to a gig, and then lost each other on the way to the gig, and we couldn't reach each other. So we were hoping for the best that we would arrive at the same place.
It's amazing,
so, Yeah, it's other times.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, we still witnessed that. Jeez, all of a sudden I feel old, Frank. I don't know about you, but well, yeah. But great times. So we played so many clubs. We played festivals. Actually, maybe because we've been talking for a while already. I found this video of a concert we did in Ghent, in Belgium, at the great Ghent Jazz Festival. So let me.
2007.
2000. Yeah. So let me show a part of this. It's quite a long file, but I'll show. This is a piece entitled Pola Mamba, and it's with you on saxophone, Dre Palamarts on drums, and Jos Machtel on bass, and myself on piano. Yeah. Yeah, Frank. This is us in
Long time ago.
Yeah. 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 Much younger and very energetic. Wow.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see it though. Yeah. Yeah, this was our quartet, Delfero Vaganée group. Back in 2007, we recorded 3 albums. Some of them you can actually find online, I think, or let us know. In fact, if you have questions for Frank, let me know in the chat, and I will pass them on to him. And so and at the end of this live stream, I will show some more stuff of our quartet. But let's talk about one big major step in your career, and that's the Brussels Jazz Orchestra. I heard something. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
No problem. Yeah. The Brussels Jazz Orchestra. So I think you I mean, we have it started nice also for me because I was one of the first pianists. But you know, you're the guest, so I want you to talk about it.
Well, we started that band in '93 because some of the members of the band, they were playing some of them freelance, one of them really like having a steady gig in the big band of the national radio of Belgium, but they stopped doing that. They stopped playing in '91. So from that point on, from that moment on, there wasn't a professional big band anymore in Belgium, except maybe for the act big band of Michel Eyre and Félix Sintène. But of course, a big band has 16 musicians, and there are a lot more. And we were from that generation in '93, like 25, 6, 7 years old, and we wanted to do something in big band. We had all the same interest in playing in a big band. So we decided to start that one together with trombone player Marc Godefroy and the trumpet player Serge Plume and baritone saxophone player Bo van der Werf. Yeah. And that time he had a band called Octurne. And so it was an octet, and we took that octet as the basic rhythm section and horns of the band. So we added some extra horns to it to have a big band. And we started to play in the Sounds. That's a jazz club in Brussels. Okay. And first, we started to work a little bit on music that existed already. Tad Jones music, Bill Holman music, Bob Brookmeyer music. And then, like at 7 o'clock, rehearsing until 8:30, 9 o'clock, then have a quick dinner somewhere, most of the time pizza or whatever,
Shawarma,
and then playing shawarma, and playing at 10 o'clock in the club. Yeah. So, and first it was with the other, I think the first piano player did it just once. And because we were playing a lot together in quartet, Mike, I asked you to join the band, and so you did for 2 years.
Quite a while. Yes.
Yeah, because you were teaching also at the conservatory in Ghent.
Yes.
So there was you didn't have to come all the way to Brussels only for that gig, but you had to teach too. So that was the first steps of the Brussels Jazz Orchestra was in that club together with you.
Well, it was wonderful, and those days for me were, man. So I remember I had this like old Mercedes, this old diesel, big old second-hand car, and then I drove very early in the morning to Ghent in Belgium, like 270 kilometers. Yeah. And then teaching all day, and then like in the rush hour make my way to Brussels, and then we rehearsed and played, and then we had a hang afterwards, and then I would like drive back like at 3 a.m, ending up in the 24 hours later without sleep, ending up in the traffic jam in the morning on the Dutch highway. For 3 years on every Tuesday. That was intense. I would never be able to do this again. I mean, especially not on a weekly basis.
That's something that you do when you're young.
Without a nap in between. No, that's kind of impossible. But I stopped with the band. I had to stop for many reasons. You know, it was a bit. Also, I remember because the band started growing, and the band got invited to play. That's what I remember. And then, well, of course, there needed to be more rehearsals, and then I had to be like in Brussels, like at 9:30 in the morning, traveling from Amsterdam, and it became a little bit too much. And also I started traveling a lot myself, and then we stopped, but I have fantastic memories. And then a couple of years ago I did a couple of subs for the great pianist you have, Nathalie. I did some sub, and it was so nice to play. It was wonderful. But but the band really involved the Brussels Jazz Orchestra. It's really amazing. In fact, I prepared quite some movies of this amazing orchestra. Let me play another one, Frank, because you wrote down a list of the tracks.
What do you want to show first? I mean, the band is now like we're in our 27th season.
Yeah. Wow.
So we did quite a lot since then, and let's say that we have projects. Mainly with guests. We have a great trumpet player, composer, arranger by the name of Bert Joris, who is really, he's not in the band, but he's writing a lot for the band, and he's also a soloist. And he's one of the biggest influences for our orchestra. He's really a great musician and inspiration. Yeah. But and also we do projects with singers, like for instance this one with David Links.
Yes.
We had 3 projects with him over the last 10 years. One with his own music, and then one where we did our version of the Porgy and Bess opera of George Gershwin, together with a Portuguese singer, which I forgot her name
Maria
now.
João.
Maria João, yes, together with David. And then the last one was a project where we were inspired by the music of Jacques Brel. Yeah. And what we are going to show the people is Mathilde. Yeah. And that's an arrangement of one of our trumpet players, Pierre Drevet.
Yeah. David Links with the Brussels Jazz Orchestra.
Ma mère, voici le temps venu d'aller prier pour mon salut. Mathilde est revenue. Bougna, tu peux garder ton vin. Ce soir je boirai mon chagrin. Mathilde est revenue. Toi, la servante à la Maria, faut peut-être de changer nos draps. La Mathilde qui est revenue. Oh, mes amis, ne me laissez pas. Ce soir je repars au combat. Maudite Mathilde, puisque tu flammes. Mon cœur ne t'emballe pas. C'est comme si tu ne savais pas que la Mathilde est revenue. Mon cœur arrête de répéter qu'elle est plus belle qu'avant l'été. La Mathilde qui est revenue. Oh, mon cœur arrête de brinque-baller. Souviens-toi qu'elle t'a déchiré. La Mathilde qui est revenue. Oh, mes amis, ne la laissez pas, non. Dites-moi qu'il ne faut pas. Maudite Mathilde, puisque je fly. tranquille, c'est un chien qui nous revient de la ville. Mathilde est revenue et vous, même ne frappez pas, tout ça ne vous regarde pas. Mathilde est revenue et vous, même ne tremblez plus. Souvenez-vous quand je vous pleurais dessus. Mathilde est revenue. Vous-même ne vous ouvrez pas, vous les bras ne vous tendez pas. Sacrée Mathilde, puisque de là, ma mère, arrête tes prières. Ton David retourne en enfer. Mathilde est revenue. Bougnard, apporte-nous du vin. C'est puis de noces et des festin. Mathilde est revenue. attendre mon homme de drap. La Mathilde qui est revenue. Oh, mes amis ne comptent plus sur moi. Je crache au ciel encore une fois. Oh, ma belle Mathilde. Oh, ma belle Mathilde. Puisque te v'là,
Fantastic. The Brussels Jazz Orchestra with vocalist David Links, who also was guest on my live stream a couple of weeks ago, and the great Brussels Jazz Orchestra with an arrangement by what's the name of the trumpet player again, Frank? Sorry.
Yeah, he's a French trumpet player, but he's in our band since almost 20 years. So So and he writes a lot for our programs too. So we have a lot of arrangers in the band too. I mean, we have like 5 or 6 people writing for the band.
Yeah. And this particular album with the music of Jacques Brel, I think you also got an award for this.
We had an award. I think we had a Edison.
And the Dutch Edison. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, so in case you just tuned in, I have my close friend for 30 years, Frank Vaganée. We played zillion concerts together with our quartet, and he's a fabulous musician, saxophone player, arranger, composer, and now he has been the artistic director of the international acknowledged Brussels Jazz Orchestra. Mouthful, but all good stuff. Yeah, and Bert Damsma. Hi Bert, thanks for tuning in. He wrote this. I'm projecting it here on the screen. Heard BJO, the Brussels Jazz Orchestra, lately with Wynton Marsalis. Frank, tell us.
Yeah, that was a great moment for the band, for us. I mean, we had last February, we had the opportunity to share the stage at the Beaux-Arts in Brussels, one of the biggest stages in Belgium, with another big band, the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra, with Wynton Marsalis. And Bert Joris, the composer where I was talking about a few minutes ago, he arranged a piece for the 2 bands together, and Lincoln Center arranged also another piece, by the way, Bluesette of Toots Tielemans, for both bands. Yeah. So we played together. Really was a great experience to work together, to rehearse, It was a very nice moment for the band, and also the fact that Wynton is a very sweet person to have around. I mean, when he comes in on stage, everybody saw him, But it's really. He liked it very much, and 2 months later we were involved in this music for our culture. That's a project that Lincoln Center did on the internet, where all kinds of bands and musicians all over the world, jazz musicians, were joining together and do their thing together with Wynton, together with Stefano Di Battista from Italy, or Igor Butman from Russia, and we as an orchestra. Was really great moment for the band.
Wonderful, yeah. Wynton, I believe it's every Wednesday. He has been online on every Wednesday night, and he does like lectures, answering questions. Very interesting.
Yes.
I don't know. I think I saw it on Instagram, but you can easily find it. So and this project with Wynton back in February, has it been recorded?
It was recorded. It was on the internet. I didn't hear it yet because it was live on the internet. But I'm sure I will get a copy one day. Yeah.
Well, actually, I just saw that the Brussels Jazz Orchestra has a really nice YouTube channel, and the Facebook page and all of that. So for those of you who are interested, check it out. There's so many great high quality videos there. It's wonderful. It's really nice. Well, of course, you know, the list here of artists, of guest jazz musicians, the orchestra worked with is impressive. Joe Lovano, Maria Schneider was also a guest conductor. Huh? We had an anniversary.
We celebrated our 25th anniversary with a concert tour with Maria.
Yeah.
And the project with Joe Lovano was because of, I mean, that was when we were 20 years old, and we got 2 Grammy nominations for that CD, one for best CD for a large jazz ensemble, and one for best arrangement. We were nominated. We didn't win, but it was a great experience to be nominated, to be there, to have the opportunity to meet a lot of people in Los Angeles. So that was really a great moment for the band too.
Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, hold on. I'm getting a chat here. I'm seeing in Dutch. It says no sound. I don't get any other. I don't know. I hear you. Now someone is replying. The sound is fine here. So, please, can you please comment if you can hear both Frank and myself?
Yeah.
Please comment before we continue. Otherwise, it looks fine here. But let me make sure.
I hear you.
I hear you too, Frank. I don't know. Well, I think we're okay. Let us know if there is a technical problem. So we are. This impressive Maria Schneider, and the legendary McCoy Tyner, who passed away a couple months ago. Toots, of course, Toots Tielemans. Well, you know, Toots, iconic.
That's we had a great moments with Toots. He was really a very sweet guy, sweet man. My very first time that he called me to play during a live radio session, not with the orchestra, but as a soloist. I mean, I was like 21 years old. He called me, and my mother, I was still living at home, you know, with my parents. So my mother, she took the phone and she called me, Frank, Toots Tielemans on the phone. So I was really, what? Toots Tielemans on the phone? Really
amazing, huh?
And then he called me. He said, do you like to come over to Brussels to have to play a few standards together? So that was really unbelievable. And afterwards, we played a few times. We had a recording too with Toots live at Jazz Middelheim in Antwerp. And he's a special.
Yeah. You know. As you know, I've played quite a lot with him. When he passed away 4 years ago, I realized I counted the amount of concerts, and I think in the time span of 10 years, I played around 150 concerts with him. It's quite a lot. I'm very grateful for that. And you know, and a couple weeks ago, I had Gabriel Grossi in the live stream, this incredible harmonica player from Brazil, and we were also really talking about Toots for a long time. And there's so much to talk about if it comes to Toots. But what I found really an amazing thing was, you know, I mean, there are so many fantastic world-class musicians to play with. I mean, look at the list you guys with the orchestra have been working with. This is absolute world-class musicians. But with Toots, the thing was with Toots, he was a pioneer, you know?
Yeah, and on top of that, he was one of us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, of course.
He was from Brussels.
From Belgium.
Belgium, and so we didn't talk English together. We slang, Flemish slang mixed with some French, and so we had a different connection. And he was always in favor of young talents and good musicians, and he supported that, and he was always very curious about the things we were doing or young musicians were doing. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, it was a great name, but he was open to any kind of information.
I remember he called me, and like one day before we had a concert, he said, "Yeah, I heard about this new young band from the Netherlands, and I hear great stories. Could you ask them to send a CD and I'll listen to it? And I called them immediately. And of course, because the gig was the next day, you know, someone came to my house and gave me the album, and I brought it to Toots. And then and then Dirk, the manager, had like this portable CD player, which it ran out of batteries after 10 minutes, you know. And then he started to listen, and he really listened. Every CD which people would send to him or to the management, he would really listen and give a comment. He was always honest too in his commenting, but he took everything serious. What an amazing man! And so encouraging, and
And also, Mike, maybe do you remember that he wrote a comment on our very first CD?
Yeah.
And from the desk of Toots Thielemans.
From the desk, and these guys know what they are doing. Something like that. Now it was amazing, you know. And another thing, what I really learned, last thing about Toots, what I really learned from him was, you know, we were in Japan and we did like the Blue Notes, and this is a tough gig because she played twice. Yeah. And they changed the audience and all of that, you know, the same policy like in America, and that's a rough gig, especially with the jet lag and all of that. And the Japanese people, they love autograph sessions and photographs. You know, you've been there many times yourself. And then sometimes these autograph sessions used to take longer than the concert itself. And he stayed there behind this table, which was prepared for him, and being so patient with everybody. And you know, and once I said, and he was in his 80s, and I said, Toots, shouldn't you go to the hotel? You're tired. Tomorrow we have another show and traveling. And he said, Mike, every fan which comes out to listen to you, appreciates you, you should really be so grateful for every person who listens to your music, you know. And therefore he took the time for every single person. That was great. I learned so much from this, you know. I mean, this man was like, I think, a huge mentor, and we could talk about it for hours. Let me show another video of the wonderful orchestra. What would you recommend?
Well, I mean, we've heard Matilda, and it was arranged by Pierre Drevet. And the next video is also arranged by Pierre, because he's a big fan of the French composer Maurice Ravel. Yeah. And he made a complete new arrangement on the piano, the valses, valse noble et sentimentale, from Ravel, and that was a really nice experience to discover that music and the things that he did with that for the complete orchestra.
Wonderful. So. Yeah. The valse noble sentimentale from Ravel, played by the Brussels Jazz Orchestra.
Yeah, and it's more like a compilation, the video.
Okay, cool. Let's watch it. the Brussels Jazz Orchestra with a wonderful project. The music from Maurice Ravel, the Valse Noble et Sentimentale. Beautiful arrangements. This video is like a trailer, a compilation of this concert. But Frank, you just told me the whole concert can be watched on YouTube.
Yeah, you can watch the whole thing. It takes like 1 hour, I guess. Yeah.
Wonderful. What I'll do, with your permission, I'll broadcast the whole thing, because I also sometimes broadcast stuff.
Yeah.
This comes. Yeah. So I will do that. Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. So, well, so many beautiful projects with the Brussels Orchestra in a period of 27 years now. And and also, but it's not only like playing with all these great people. You also do other projects like reaching out, things like, for instance, with refugees.
Yeah. I mean, more and more we are looking for ways to also be part of the social problems.
Yeah.
So I mean, the refugees. I mean, back now it's you don't hear too much of it now because of the other big problem.
Yeah.
But in 2016 we had this big problem with the refugees, and I decided to write a complete new composition with all kinds of musicians, with a big band, but also with some classical musicians like woodwinds and French horns, and also a choir of 6 voices, jazz singers, and then Tutu Poane as a lead female vocal, and David Links again as a male singer. So, and I brought this all together in one big composition of with text of a very famous theater guy by the name of Michael de Kock. You know him, who wrote the libretto. The text. So and that's something that we did, and also. A part of that, for instance, 2 years ago we had the release of our CD We Have a Dream, and that's about civil rights and about human rights in general, and that's with Tutu Poane, and we took some we made a choice of music that was inspired on those problems, and we made our own arrangements on that, and made a program around human rights. It was in a connection in collaboration with Amnesty International, by the way. So we had this connection, and now the program that we are going to record next August is called We Orchestrate Words, and that's also a mixture of other art forms, with a DJ, with a rapper, with a female soul singer. We have a video of that.
Yeah,
too.
let me show this. Let me show this.
We Orchestrate Words, and we are going to record that next August.
Let me show this.
Yeah.
You guys are part of the Brussels Jazz Orchestra right now.
What's the matter with you people in the world today? Stop all around like you lost your way. Follow the leader when no mind of your own. You take 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps on.
Not even like I have a choice. Even when I tried to cry, there wasn't a tear in me left. But it's okay, I'm alright. My thoughts are there to keep me sane through the night. I just pray whoever takes my place knows how to appreciate being by your side.
You got to get down.
Yeah, We Orchestrate Words, great project by the Brussels Jazz Orchestra, and you mentioned that in October you will it's going to be you're going to do live concert with this project if possible.
No, I mean we're going to record it next August. I mean it's the only thing that we can do now as an orchestra is going into a studio using all the techniques of studio, you know, with headphones and everything. To be able to create music, to rehearse, to record it, being on social distancing, you know, because we have to keep that in mind. I mean, it's impossible to be on stage for us now, so we have to do those things. We're gonna record that one in August, and then we have 2 other recordings planned next October and November in a studio, a big studio where we are separated from each other. Yeah, it's something. I mean, special times ask special solutions.
Yeah, special requirements.
Special requirements to do something. With the band. So, and in that way, we're preparing our next season. So from the moment that we can get a go from the government, we're ready.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't wait for that moment that things will be back to normal because it has been rough. Yeah. Before Gregory Franz, wonderful photographer actually from South Africa, who makes great jazz photographer from Cape Town. He's writing. Tutu Puane is originally from South Africa.
Yes.
Great to see the connection. Yeah, it's true because you mentioned Tutu before.
We made two CDs with Tutu, Mama Africa, in 2010, and we won the South African Music Award for that one, and we went to the Johannesburg Jazz Festival. We played over there, and the second one is We Have a Dream, that came out 2 years ago. And since she lives in Antwerp, she's married to a great piano player, Ewout Pierreux. So she has 2 kids. So she's completely how do you call it?
Swamped.
In the Belgian scene.
Yeah. Oh, like that. Yeah. Oh, you mean you're like immersed.
But she is, of course, she has
immersed.
And she's a great singer.
South Africa and talent is also something else. It's that's a whole world on its own. I've also done a lot.
We had a plan with. Normally last March or April we had this thing, not with BJO, but with a big band of our school, to do a project with Zoe Modiga. That's also a South African singer, great singer. But because of the situation, she couldn't come over. But we're gonna do that next time anyway.
Oh, wonderful! Oh yeah, she's one. Yeah. She's great. This is great, and and just going back to the refugees thing, because that's such a fascinating thing we're talking about. Also, of course, here in the Netherlands, we had this thing, but I also got to meet some artists who are like in the camps, in those centers, and it's incredible how many great musicians are stuck there and cannot do anything. It's tragic, and I'm not talking about this is musician because we're into music, but it's great that you did this because this is
we have another thing that is coming up that's supposed to be. We had to play it last March, but couldn't happen, and then we postponed it to September, but it will not happen again, so it's January. It's called 9352, and it's with a great Iraqi qanun player by the name of Osama Abdul Rasul. And he plays really great, and with and a singer from Jordan. So we have this connection too with Middle East kind of scene music. So we try to go outside the borders of pure jazz.
It's gonna be like not only the Brussels Jazz Orchestra, but the Brussels World Orchestra. But that's great, because that's also my thing. All this these world music projects all around the world, and there are so many treasures all over the world. It's truly incredible. In the Middle East, it's wonderful. Yeah. I think we have another movie to show from the orchestra.
That's because Bring It to the People. And 3 years ago, I guess it's 3 years ago now. It's a movie, a director contacted us with a question of if we were interested to be part of a documentary of the BJO, and because he liked the band. First of all, he liked the band. He was a jazz fan and a big band fan, and also interested in the projects that we were doing, and interested mostly about the musicians in the orchestra and the relationships between the musicians, and also the way of working and dealing with musicians and with projects and everything. And he followed the band for 2 years or so, all over the place. I mean, concerts in Belgium, but also in Italy. He went when we played at Lincoln Center. At the Dizzy Gillespie's Jazz Club, he traveled with us. I mean, he followed us all over the place, and made a documentary of 90 minutes. So, and this one, the movie that we're gonna see now, is a trailer of that one. You can watch it in Holland. You can watch it in Luxembourg, in Germany. People, if they are interested, they have to check the website of the orchestra to see where the movie can be seen online.
It's not in every country. It's not like on YouTube or.
For the moment, they're working on ways to bring it to everybody.
Okay, yeah. And this is the trailer of this wonderful project, Bring It to the People, with the Brussels Jazz Orchestra.
The Brussels Jazz Orchestra for me is one of the best big bands I ever collaborated with.
Quand on est au milieu d'un big band, quand c'est parti, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Ik keek daar naar op. Die mannen waren al professioneel als ze 20 waren.
Wat vooral speelde voor ons was het idealisme en niet het geld.
Als we terug naar huis reden, dat er discussies waren, waar zijn we eigenlijk mee bezig?
Je kunt je er 1 keer door bluffen, maar dan komen er plots 18 meningen op je dak hoe dat jij je job moet doen.
We willen ook geen makke muzikanten zijn die zelf geen idee hebben. Zo werkt dat niet, zo'n jazzorkest.
That keeps the love of the music and the love of each other alive.
That's what this music is all about. Your personal experiences that come to you each time you play.
En als je dan zo'n mooie passage speelt, is echt heaven.
Het is een beetje like een voetbalteam. Hè? Je moet toch mensen hebben die willen samen presteren.
You guys are really laying back on that melody, and it's hip as shit.
Laid back people.
Laid back people, I dig it.
Another wonderful project by the Brussels Jazz Orchestra, Bring It to the People. Yeah, a documentary. So not available everywhere in the world, but check it out. Again, for those of you who just tuned in, I have my close friend for 30 years, Frank Vaganée, incredible saxophone player, really incredible. We had a quartet. We should maybe reunite again. The reason our quartet stopped was not because we didn't like each other, but because you got so involved with the orchestra. The orchestra grew so big internationally, and I started traveling, and then also you're a great teacher. I mean, at some point you were teaching I think at 3 conservatories in Belgium at the same time.
There was 1 year that I was teaching 2 days in Amsterdam, 1 day in Leuven, and 1 day in Ghent. It was a little bit too much.
Yeah, and then it's because you, Frank, I know you. I think you're the hardest worker I've ever met in jazz. I mean, you're really the guy, like the early bird catches the worm. I mean, before everybody was getting up. You were already writing and only sleeping a couple of hours, and so incredibly dedicated for the music and the people around you, and that's something I really admire so much about you.
It's an addiction.
Yeah. You love to do it, but still, it's great. Such a source of inspiration. I'm getting a question here from Hugo. Hey, Hugo Faustino from Portugal. Hi, Hugo. Thanks for tuning in. He is asking, actually, it's actually kind of a good question also for the listeners and the watchers. Oh, please, before I forget, before I'm going to call the question, if you like this live stream and you're watching on Facebook, please do us a big favor and simply share it on your profile, on your page, whatever, in your group, because it reaches a lot of people, and that's what we want, that's what we need. So it would be very appreciated if you would simply share it. Hugo is asking, is there a definition for big band? When is it called a big band?
Well, first of all, a big band, the bands are known as a big band from the 30s, 40s, the big bands that played in the ballrooms. The DJs of that time, playing for the people to dance, and that big band was most of the time. It grew from like 6, 7, 8 people to 15, 16 people, even more. From the moment that, like for instance, Duke Ellington was starting to write different kind of music to listen to and not really to dance on. It started to be more like a jazz orchestra than a big band. I mean, that's the reason also why our band is called Brussels Jazz Orchestra and not the Brussels Big Band, because we want to be, our setup, the orchestral setup is like a big band. 5 saxophones, 4 trombones, 4 trumpets, and a rhythm section. But we want to, it's too much big band, it's too much, we give too much the idea that it's too much the 40s, 30s, 40s, and we want to be much wider or broader in the spectrum of what we can do with a setup, orchestral setup, like a big band, playing jazz influenced by so many kinds of music and other kinds of arts. So that's the reason why the name is Jazz Orchestra and not Big Band. But to be honest, when we say tomorrow I have a concert, we don't say tomorrow we have a concert with the Brussels Jazz Orchestra. No, we say tomorrow we have a concert with the Big Band.
Yeah. That's our slang. We're so used to this.
It's easier, but that's why so many big bands. That's why the Vanguard Jazz Orchestra or the Maria Schneider Jazz Orchestra or the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra and not big band, because they go. It's wider than the typical big band idea that a lot of people have when they hear Glenn Miller,
Yeah. No, good. Great. Great explanation. In that sense, maybe also the word big band is a little bit outdated unless you only play really like jazz. Yeah. So Hugo is replying, thank you for the explanation. Historical reference of the 30s. Great episode. Always a showcase of good music taste. Thank you, Hugo. Yeah. So thank you for yeah. A lot of happy people online. That's wonderful. So Frank, one more thing about the orchestra. You also have done a project with a silent movie, an Oscar, and even 2, I think. I remember seeing 2, and one of them even got an Oscar.
Yeah, we were involved in playing the soundtrack, part of the soundtrack of the artist That was a silent movie that won a lot of Oscars in 2012, I guess. And it was really a surprise for us because at a certain point we got a phone call from the production of that movie. They were looking for a big band to play the soundtrack on a dance and a few other scenes in the movie, because they recorded everything, and it was based on music of Benny Goodman, and apparently they had problems they couldn't use the music of Benny Goodman. I mean, a question of rights, I don't know, they couldn't use that. So the composers of that movie, they had to write something that sounded a little bit like the music they were supposed to use. And we had to record it already on the movie because their dance was already danced, the final scene. So we had to, it was a kind of, it was a nice experiment to do. Yeah. And we recorded that music and we forgot about it. I mean, I forgot about it. It was somewhere in spring, and suddenly a few months later, I hear on the radio that that there is a movie. The artist was nominated for the Golden Globes, and I wasn't really realizing. And at a certain point, I said, "Oh, wait a minute! Isn't that movie that where we played the music on?" And then apparently they won the Césars, and then they were nominated for the Oscars, and then they won the Oscars. So it was really like something that was happening aside us, And but it was a very nice experience, and we got a lot of attention, because of that. So that was great. I mean, the 2 weeks after the Oscars, we played at the Blue Note Jazz Club in New York for 1 week, and there were a lot of people coming over just because of the fact that they knew that we were the band of that movie. So
wow, it's incredible. I think it's so amazing. If I think back, like we said before in the emission, I was one of the first. I was actually the second pianist. Well. So somehow the first pianist was the other guy only played once, what I remember like the whole thing, rehearsing at this jazz club, the sounds in the Rue de la Tulipe in Brussels, in the little bit like the African part of Brussels, starting playing for 10 people who were hanging out on a Tuesday, and then bringing it that you guys performed with Marsalis at the Lincoln Center. I mean, it's a big thing, also to get let me not say big band, but an orchestra, to make it traveling. It's costly, so you need a lot of funding. I know you have a great manager, Koen, who does Koen Maas. He's fantastic.
That's part of the success, of course. That's not only the band itself, but also the whole thing around it. Yes. And of course we are we get some subsidies from the government, from Flemish government. So we need that as an orchestra. We really need that to work out our ideas and to be able to go outside and play. If we didn't have that support, it wasn't possible at all.
No.
So the management. We have like at the office we have. Normally 3 people working there, so general manager and somebody who is doing press and communication, and someone is an assistant to Koen. So, and I'm there as an artistic leader. So it's like a small company.
It's a team with a great management behind it. I know, it's wonderful, fantastic. Frank, so much about the Brussels Jazz Orchestra and you. Again, Frank Vaganée, amazing musician, amazing band leader, composer, arranger, human being. I'm really so happy with having you here.
I'm sure.
And modest. I've been knowing you for so many years. Yeah, the hardest working and the most modest guy in the jazz world, in my experience. And of course, we had this wonderful quartet. I hope at some point we can even if we play like 2 or 3 concerts. We've been talking about it to maybe
we were talking about it during the music that some music that I hear, I say I can really play it again, no problem.
Yeah.
It's still in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Because we did it so much and so
so
many times.
So in case anyone wants to book us with this quartet, we don't need to rehearse. We still remember everything.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true. It's actually true. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. So I really want to thank you for this wonderful interview and for who you are. And
it's my pleasure.
Yeah, and well, please check Frank Vaganée, Brussels Jazz Orchestra. We're all over internet. Great YouTube channel. A lot of albums. You can find everything online. And I want to close with I had this like 1.5 hour video file of a concert we did with our quartet. I think it's 2012, if I'm not mistaken. We did this tour for Jazz Lab, which is a very nice Belgian organization which sends like a group, organized a theater tour for jazz in Belgium. The sound quality is not like the sound we just heard, but I think it gives a nice impression. So I'm going to close with that, and I want to thank you everybody for watching and for listening. I'll be back soon with another live stream, I think on Monday, maybe in the weekend, but let me not promise because things are getting busy again. I'm very grateful for that. So from 7 times a week a live stream, I reduced it to 3, and now sometimes I have to plan them like a couple days ahead of time. But as you know, I'll announce them on Facebook and on YouTube, so you'll be able to please follow me, and then whenever I go online, you'll see it. So thanks again, dear Frank. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. And I'm going to show a couple of minutes of our quartet, Del Ferro Vaganée group. Dutch pronunciation. Yeah. Thank you everybody. And good night.
Eerste stuk van deze set.